manifestation portal. So this retrograde season is going to act as a manifestation portal. If you know me, you know I don't really use that word, so it's a really interesting message to come through. 4 of Wands coming into alignment. I feel truly that with the retrograde energies, there's going to be there's going to be a time to reassess so much. You're even going to welcome back whatever was out of alignment with you at a certain time and now has found that beautiful divine alignment with you. But also, things that you used to enjoy doing, that I also feel like the inner child kind of thing wanted to, what the inner child used to enjoy doing. 5 of Cups and the 8 of Cups, yeah. And it's kind of something that you have to walk away from with sadness, ended up in missing it, not even missing it, grieving it. It's almost like it was done, whatever it is that's going to be coming back, because it's something that you realize it's part of like the bigger manifestation that you want to bring through. Death, whatever it is, it's had to go through a transformation. So maybe you've gone through a transformation to be more ready now, because I do feel like there's going to be some kind of small actions, too many cards there, taken towards whatever this is. Retrograde season is really a time to reset, reflect, right? All the REs. And in a lot of parts of the world, it's kind of like people have gotten so used to getting things fast-tracked, getting things when they want, how they want it, when they want, whether it's information, food, or, whatever it is, right? That they even start to have these expectations on each other's hearts, on their own healing. People talk of the word sacred, and meanwhile they're running on empty, just trying to keep up an image of sacred, because it's suddenly become this needing to look and be a certain way, when actually it's just another way that people have started to need and want from each other. Human hearts are not machines, and human hearts should be valued more than, anyway, what's happening in the world. Queen of Pentacles, yeah, there's definitely whatever this was in the past, that loss, that regret, it's kind of helped you to really, Justice, the bottom of the deck, it's helped you to really step into your kind of role of being so much more ready and prepared and worthy, feeling worthy anyway, you're always worthy of what it is that you're now going to be moving towards. Okay, there's been maybe you've got a lot on your plate. There's going to be a lot to juggle. 100% there's going to be a lot to juggle, and your choices are going to make all the difference of what actually does manifest moving forward. It's going to be in your hands. So decisions and where you want to, you've got these seeds and now you want to plant them. So it's all about how and where you're going to take the action to plant these seeds, okay? And it's really calling you to honour your values. Okay, 4 of Swords and 4 of Wands. 4, Angels. Definitely something about stability that someone's been finding within. Knight of Wands. Yeah, something, whatever was lost or left in the past, it was as a result of a really impulsive and wounded energy, right? So you got the Hanged Man there. So yeah, something that someone hasn't been able to kind of what's that word, they've not been able to remove it from their energy, or just from their heart even. It's coming through their mind, whatever this was. 10 of Cups. Ooh. There's been a lot of internal conflict here. So we've got the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So fire and earth signs. Someone, it feels like, is really trying to find the balance between, it's like they have these different versions of themselves, and we all have multi-layers. That's the beauty of, being human, having the human experience, really delving into every part of you. That sensual experience is really feeling all of you deeply, right? Someone's been really conflicted internally, and it's their ego that has been prevented them from really finding this stability to move forwards. It feels like there was some kind of conflict here that I've heard tore people. Honestly, I've just heard tore these lovers apart. So it feels like it could be a connection, and we've just had the 2 of Cups and the Page of Swords come through as well. So whatever this is, it feels like 2 people coming together, but someone's really seeing this clearly more than they have before. So they're understanding the value of who they lost. Felt like a loss. Who they've tried to grieve and release and get over, but they were, again, just operating from a wounded space as they were even going through that process. They've been taking some time. They've been really taking some time contemplating, going within, right? So understanding the pain of the heart more instead of avoiding it, so they can really understand what's been happening in their mind space about all of this as well. 5 of Wands. They've tried to numb their pain, which I don't know if they saw it as pain, but they did with distractions. Ooh. King of Swords. Okay, I've heard they want to step up to the plate. That came through yesterday. Anyway, that phrase. But also, they're really like self-protected. They're really they're not good with vulnerability. And they're still kind of stuck on this conflict that took place, which keeps them in like the should know. I'm seeing like a foot going forward and then moving back, going forward, moving back. Oof, 10 of Swords. Okay, they felt this. Whatever this was, they felt the pain of it. But again, they moved to distractions to numb their pain. I think that this wasn't the only pain that happened at the time of wherever this was lost. There was a lot of different things that they experienced. You know, I'm talking about other connections that might have been involved at the time, even to do with community, business, family. There's a lot that they've been through a lot of they've definitely had dark nights of the soul. Ooh. The Empress and the Chariot. Wow. I've just heard like they suddenly want to like charge towards this Empress, like they're seeing her value. And not just like seeing her on a pedestal where they can't reach and this like, you know, secretively desiring her, which I think is where their headspace might have been. Actually, they were distracting themselves. I don't even know if they're feeling the lack of her presence, that's for sure. You know, as in like physical presence. Queen of Cups. Look at all this beautiful feminine energy. Wow. That's what it is. Someone's finally realizing. I think they're finally learning what divine feminine energy is, and this is helping them to really see who this person was. I think they've also had to deal with very wounded feminine energies, and they're valuing her even more as a result of their experiences, okay? So it's true that whatever they went through with this energy, they would have had to learn the lessons that they themselves that they hadn't learned at the time, of preventing them from really stepping to the plate and having this new path that was actually prepared for them at the time of whatever this is that happened. There was a new path open, but it went the wrong way. Not wrong, because it needed to happen the way it did, because that was part of like whatever was unfolding. Clearly, Hanged Man again. This has been on pause for a while. Someone's finally valuing connection. They are wanting what's theirs and only theirs kind of thing. I think that they were so led by ego in the past, or whenever this happened. They did not operate. They operated from a really hurt place, but more than anything, they were so trying to protect their ego. So their ego was their protection, basically. So they'd go to everything outside of them that was just unhealthy. So stuck on whatever this was, whatever happened. I don't think it's ever been cleared, because they're not even, it's like you haven't had the chance to really speak your truth about what happened, both of you, either of you. So it's just been stuck in this kind of, however that conflict energy. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. There has been change though. I mean, you know, you've got the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups and the Empress. I mean, those are beautiful energies. You know, there's internal and external stability. You know, the Empress is kind of, she's not being codependent, basically. She's ready to receive what she knows she's worthy of, and she's also ready to put in the work to what she wants herself, right? Her heart was hurt before, but I think that she's been really learning and intelligently kind of processing her emotion. So she's also ready for this new path. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly, discuss your feelings with each other. There has been a lot of lack of that. Honesty of your feelings, forgiving and learning. Wow, there's definitely an opportunity here to understand what happened if there hasn't been accountability taken, to take accountability. I think someone's going through some kind of, I think they're really feeling, they're not feeling in the best place. Okay, and this is why they're really valuing this connection as well, even more. But they can't be moving towards it in that egoic space, you know. It's a two-way thing. Too many cards. A two-way thing. So it's kind of like understanding, but what actually needs to happen for there to be this, you know, both of you are winning, you know what I mean, together very soon. Oh my God, wow. Whoa. Okay, so that Hanged Man energy is closing out very soon. But be mindful of how you're proceeding and how you're receiving someone. Because if they are proceeding in this kind of, you know, if the jealousy, for example, is fueling them, or just, you know, not getting what they want in their environment, then you need to check yourselves, pay attention to the red flags. Be mindful. You both might be running on kind of past wounds. You're going to have to really step back. True love, this is a divine connection. Oh my God, wow. Okay. I mean, the Four of Wands was the first card, but then we've got the Two of Wands here. So it's kind of like, it feels like you're finding alignment within so that you can come into alignment with each other. And the next step is going to be literally you two finding that, as you find your alignment with each other, you're going to allow yourselves in this new cycle that's coming through here, that looks like, to align with each other at the same time, right? But that pay attention to the red flags is real. What is fueling you? What is still around you? You know, internally, what you're telling yourself as well as others around you. This is a soul connection, okay? This is your soul person. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Like, there's definitely some kind of soul contract work happening here, or somebody believes this to be true. But also it's kind of like they've never felt this, either of you have felt this connection like this before. You deeply feel it in your soul, you know? And you both want to, or you will want to make the effort towards whatever makes you feel like that kind of, that deep love, right? And once you have these heart-to-heart conversations, you go through your healing process of forgiving and learning and understanding your connection and the journey, you can truly start to make that effort. See, this card fell to the floor and it just, I had to literally reach for it, okay? Release your ex. And this is what I meant. I feel like somebody's going through something. See, this is I'm going to say danger is what's come to mind. It's not ideal if they're moving towards this person now because they're feeling the pain of something else. You know, that's not fair for who they're moving towards. You know what I mean? So, just going to have to see how it feels when it comes in. Yeah, see, pay attention to the red flags. When that comes in, then they come forward. You have to be honest with what, you're going to feel it within your system. You're going to feel if something just, you know, it doesn't feel quite right. Even if you do want to move in this direction, both of you, there's going to be something still that feels a bit off. So it's being mindful. Or even just somebody, maybe they're still operating in ways that they kind of, they learnt when they were in that situation. Yeah, retreat, disconnect. You're going to have to disconnect until somebody can really meet you. Because when you come together, you meet each other as equals, right? But again, those heart-to-heart conversations feels like are needed, so they'll reveal the truth of the situation, including feelings. Nothing's yet set in stone. So it's going to be the energy of, okay, maybe you'll just need more space or time, or you maybe not necessarily like space of separation, but just like, okay, understanding where you both are and allowing each other to do what you need to do. If fiery climax approaches, don't let pride get in your way. Yeah, so it's not about being, you know, when the truth is spoken on, and maybe it triggers you, maybe they do tell you the truth about a third party energy or whatever it is. Maybe they thought that this was their soul person. You're going to have to really check your ego, because it's going to feel like, it might hurt looking at this. But once you step back and you honor the cycles of the journey, understand that that person that they were with, that person was not somebody who you would have wanted to deal with. So be grateful. And I know that doesn't make it easy all the time, because you're so awake, you know, a new romantic cycle begins, but they need to be ready for this with you. They weren't at the time. Okay. You know, to create that foundation of trust with each other, you have to be honest, but you also have to accept each other's truth. Does that make sense? You have to honour it in terms of, especially if they're changing, they want to close out those ways. You have to accept that that is who they are, that is who they have been, that is the choices they have made. right? And yes, you know, if they're honoring and devoting themselves to their path of stepping into their divine self, then, you know, you want to see the changes. You're going to need to. But you can't hold each other's paths against each other, if that makes sense. I think that there'll be more revealed along the way. You'll understand reasons why they had to make the choices that they did, or they felt they were in a position where they had to. Still their choice to make, right? I think there was something more to this, and you might understand. It's like they tried to make something work because I've heard convenience, you know, again, everyone's operating in convenience these days, right? I get the value of convenience. Trust me, when it comes to the heart space, again, there was some other ties here, maybe even business, right? Nothing will come of this situation. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Yeah, it's not even, communication is key. So it's not even kind of, you know, the red flags. They're going to be red flags, so you're going to be warning signs. You're going to be like, I would not want, I don't want like that, what? But nothing's going to come of it because it's actually showing you what you need to release. That's coming up within you because they're already releasing this. Believe it or not, they certainly have gone through quite a dark time with whatever this external energy is, okay? I feel really, it's really sad. They felt a lot of darkness with this, a lot of pain. What do you need to release? I think maybe there's jealousy or issues here or something. I don't know, but it's definitely going to... And maybe it's simply the fact that they made you feel like second best or an option or whatever. I don't think they were being true to their own emotions. They couldn't be. I think they were stuck in these situations. They were not seeing things. They were not in a healthy space. They were not in the divine space. But also this space from you two has allowed yourselves to step up into the beauty of like your heart, your truth, your soul. Prosperity lies ahead, believe that. Prosperity lies ahead. So in order to move towards that prosperity, you know, I just keep looking at that true love card. I think that maybe you both really do desire the same thing and have been receiving the same signs as well. I've specifically heard there, too many cards. About this. Oh my God, just as I said, that hold your vision. I think that you both hold a very similar vision, especially as a divine connection. You know, you've both been very divinely guided throughout this pause especially, but there's a reason those warning signs come up for you, and pay attention to those. Bring love into the situation. Pay attention because it is a message for you. However, also try to see from their perspective as much as you can. Now, that doesn't mean disregard how you feel at all. Be honest about your feelings, about what's been happening for you as well. This is somebody who has had a lot of external influence, misguiding their soul is what I've heard. So truly, memories and remembrance, longing and desire, seeking pleasure. 26, 2 and 14 might be important numbers, okay? I just feel like 8 and 5 as well. I just think they're at this space where they're really regretting. They have regretted their choices, but they're longing for this energy. They really are. And I think that more than anything, they probably just want to open this path again so they can finally kind of release the past now, not keep that lingering, right? And they want to move towards this. And it's almost like they even had a thought, how long is this going to keep going on for? When can I finally move forward, right? But they're in that space right now where they're closing out that tough cycle in the past, right? They were definitely in a very playboy kind of energy, you know what I mean? Like that seeking pleasure card, it was coming through. You got the Knight of Wands, 5 of Wands, 3 of Cups. You know, there's a lot of kind of, misuse of their sacred energy, but I think this is where they've kind of changed their ways. I don't know, I think that there's more to this that's not come through here in this time that I've taken with this reading, at least. There's definitely more, and I think that I think that they're regretting not having done something sooner to create this foundation that they now want. They're seeing the value of, like I say, connection, but family. Everything that they don't have is being are like big sirens in their mind right now, and the person that they're coming back to and recognizing who they could have had all of that with is this Empress. Wow. Okay, prosperity does lie ahead, so hold that vision and honor each other's truth, your own journey. It's taking you this way for a reason, you know. Who have you become? Well, the beauty of who you've become, okay? It's so important to remember. Be honest about what you desire in return, okay? And what you are willing to give, because it's not all straight away. It's not 0 to 100. This is very much going to be, okay, let's open this path and see what happens. Yes, a new romantic cycle begins, but it begins with just these heart-to-heart conversations, and then the understanding what you need to do moving forwards as you heal together. I also just heard the fire has never gone out. Okay, so the attraction is still there, very present, right? Divine Feminines really honor the emotional evolution you have gone through as a result of this, because it feels like it was really painful, but also kind of, you had to really face yourself. You had to really go inwards and understand the wounds that were beneath the surface, or just whatever it was that was keeping you kind of maybe attached to whatever, or just, even just not being met halfway, So there's definitely something about this. The Eight of Cups is really sticking out there. It's not even in the pile. So there was a walking away. And if you need to disconnect, when you need to be honest about that disconnect, the important thing here is communication. Communication. It is that communication is key. Without that, you can have all sorts of misunderstandings, especially with this retrograde season. Misunderstandings, you start making assumptions, things up in your mind. It just leads to nowhere. You've both been there. So time to do things different, okay? From the heart, with love. Let me know if this message was for you. Sending love.